Hello everyone, this is Shannon from That's So Poe, and today I'm here to do a series review of the Murderbot Diaries by Martha Wells. This is such a great series that really has captured my heart. It is a sci-fi series that has so much humor and so much joy and so much epic adventure and so much character development and so much representation. I really adore this series, as do many people. So I just wanted to talk a little bit today about what it's about and why I find it so wonderful. So this series is ongoing. It isn't yet finished, but so far it includes 4 novellas, which are All Systems Red, Artificial Condition, Rogue Protocol, and Exit Strategy. And recently the 5th book, which is a full-length novel, Network Effect, came out and I loved it just as much as the novellas. So this series is told from the perspective of Murderbot. Murderbot is a security unit, which is a robot that has some AI intelligence as well as some organic parts. And it has given itself the name Murderbot because it kind of has a murky history that it can't quite remember, where maybe it malfunctioned a bit and killed a lot of humans, and that's not such a great thing. But Murderbot is also very unique because security units are robots that are basically just owned by corporations and lent out to various operations that are trying to do things that need some security. And Murderbot has actually hacked its governor module. Its governor module is kind of a thing inside of its brain that makes it follow orders. But it has decided to continue following orders because it'll just keep its day job providing security and on the inside be watching a lot of soap operas and just being socially anxious. Murderbot is so funny, and this series really follows Murderbot as it is put into a lot of situations where the humans that it's trying to protect get into a lot of danger and it has to intervene and save them. Some of the things that end up happening uncover much bigger conspiracies and schemes, and it has to do kind of ever more dangerous things, lots of adventure, lots of excitement, lots of really cool technology. And we really follow Murderbot not just on these adventures to protect the humans that it's with, but on its own kind of personal journey, because Murderbot, now that it has hacked its governor module, is learning a lot about itself, about what it wants, about its kind of relationship to other robots and to humans, and just sort of developing as a person. And that is just such a beautiful journey, and it's just so much fun to go with it throughout this whole series. So let me talk about some of the many reasons why this series has really captured my heart and is so much fun to read. First are the plots. Now, the plots for each of the novellas and the novel are very much self-contained in that you have an entire plot arc for that novel, but they also fold into this much larger story of what's going on in the sort of galaxy universe, as well as what's going on for Murderbot and the people that Murderbot is protecting. I really love the way that each of the novellas and novels has a very cohesive plot that is super filled with action and adventure and character growth. You have beautiful story arcs, but they also knit together pretty seamlessly. And I feel like each time you finish one of these novellas or novels, you're not left wanting, but you're left desiring even more. And it really builds together in such a cohesive, beautiful fashion. I just love the adventure. I love the excitement. This is kind of a lot of really cool action as well. It's just so well done in terms of the plotting of these stories. Next, there are quite a few aspects of the world building that I think are fantastic, starting with just the dystopian, kind of very capitalist future that Martha Wells has imagined that is yet somehow still very hopeful. So in this future, really, space has been colonized in a lot of ways by just corporations. So not governments, but corporations that have a lot of power and a lot of greed, like a lot of greed. And I love the way that Martha Wells just takes kind of the capitalist society that we live in and extrapolates to what would that look like in the far future. And so we see all of these sort of technological advancements that are very much along the lines of advertising and data mining and so many things. And it's a beautiful commentary on a lot lot of capitalist society and a lot of the ways that that could lead to a future. So there's a little bit of dystopian nature to that, but the characters that we follow are really anti-capitalist, and there's so much hope in that, and there's so much beauty in that. Murderbot, in the very act of hacking its governor module, is forming a rebellion against what is going on in the society. And I just love that there's so much in here about fighting against this capitalist society. It's just really beautiful, and I love that aspect of the world building. Next, a related point is the way that AI and robots are represented in this sort of dystopian future. So I always love stories that really look at AI personhood, and this series does it so excellently because it's told from the perspective of a robot. So in this series, we're really looking at this kind of dystopian corporate future, one where there are so many different robots and AIs and sort of code, even just systems that run to operate things that are treated as individuals, as sentient beings. And because we're getting it from the perspective of a robot, we really see that. Secunit is in many ways a being that straddles the line between what is human and what is artificial. And we really are able as humans to sort of see its perspective. And I just absolutely love that discussion of personhood, of rights, of the way that we treat some beings as disposable. Oh, it's just absolutely beautiful, and I really love that approach. Another aspect of the world building that brings me so much joy is just the queerness of the universe that Martha Wells has created. She's created a future where it may be dystopian in terms of capitalism, but it is not dystopian in terms of queerness. In this future that she has created, queerness is so 100% integrated and normal. We see characters everywhere on the gender and sexuality spectrums. We see tons of characters with they, them pronouns. We see tons of same-sex relationships. We also see a lot of polyamory. There are many family units that include more than 2 people in a marriage. So there'll be like 3 or 4 people of differing genders. And this is like 100% normal in this future. I loved that normalcy of queerness. Also, it's just great that we're getting a story told from a non-binary or agendered perspective. So Murderbot does not have a gender, it is not human, and in fact it uses the pronoun it, not even they, them. So I love that we have this world that really is just built on queerness. That is the norm, and that is beautiful to see. In addition to all of the aspects of the world building, which are so fantastic, I think what really makes this series stand out is the way that Murderbot's character is developed and how beautiful that is. One of the aspects of Murderbot's character that is so beautiful to see is kind of its difference in terms of the way that it thinks. So Martha Wells has said that she is neurodiverse, and I really love the representation of Murderbot in terms of its difficulties with social interactions and its social anxiety. Murderbot really struggles to know how to interact with humans. It does not like to make eye contact. It doesn't like to deal with emotions. It's very much just anxious about a lot of things, and I just loved seeing that portrayal. Also, Murderbot's character has so much humor. Murderbot is very much kind of snarky and sarcastic, and you get its perspective as we go through its frustrations with the kind of difficulties of life, with the irrationality of humans. There is so much humor throughout this, and I loved hearing all of Murderbot's thoughts and just laughing as we get to also see so much heart. So Murderbot's character is something that goes through a lot of development throughout the series. When you start, we're really focused on a lot of Murderbot's anxieties and its desire to sort of retreat from the world and just watch its soap operas. But as we go through the series, there's a lot of emotional development, a lot of character development of Murderbot. Murderbot starts to develop relationships with the humans, to kind of understand them, to care about them, and also, very importantly, to allow the humans to care for it back. That's a very big step for Murderbot. Additionally, I think that Murderbot is really just growing in terms of caring about itself and learning what it wants, learning who it is, learning what it wants to be. There's so much of this story that is really centered around Murderbot's independence, because this is only something gained very recently, and I love that character arc growth. It's so beautiful to see, makes me cry pretty much in every book because I'm just so moved. Absolutely love Murderbot's character. So overall, I think that the Murderbot Diaries series is just one of the most fantastic sci-fi series that is out there today. It is uplifting, it is so funny, it is filled with action and adventure, it is got great representation, great social commentary, and just so much about this series is exactly what I want to be reading. So if you have not heard of the Murderbot Diaries series, I think you really should give it a try. I think that this is a very popular series for a very good reason. If you have read this series, let me know what you think in the comments below, or if you haven't read the series, let me know if you're interested in reading it now. Also, if you've read the newest book, The Network Effect, let me know how you think that that fit into the series. It's just, I'm such a fan of this series. I want to hear anything that you guys have to say down below, and thanks for watching.